I should have known something was wrong the moment we arrived at the cabin. The air was thick with silence, an unnatural stillness that made the trees loom taller, their twisted limbs reaching for us like skeletal fingers. I shook off the feeling. Maybe it was just the isolation playing tricks on my mind. After all, it was Valentine's Day, and Adam had gone through so much trouble to plan this getaway. Just the two of us, away from the noise of the city. He had been acting strange, nervous but excited, his hand constantly brushing the pocket of his jacket. I had a feeling he was going to propose. My heart fluttered at the thought. The cabin was beautiful, an old rustic thing nestled in the woods, far from civilization. Adam lit a fire, and we cozied up with wine, his arms wrapped tightly around me. Everything felt perfect. Until the knock came. A single, deliberate knock against the wooden door. My heart stilled. Adam stiffened beside me, his grip tightening. "Stay here," he whispered, standing up and moving toward the door. I watched as he peered through the peephole, his entire body freezing in place. And then, his face went pale. "No," he muttered under his breath. A soft, familiar voice called from outside. "Adam, open the door." It was a woman's voice. Delicate, sweet. And yet, it sent an unnatural chill through me. Adam backed away from the door, his hands trembling. "Who is that?" I asked, standing up. He swallowed hard, unable to meet my eyes. It's Emily." Emily. His ex-girlfriend. The one who had refused to let him go. "Adam," her voice came again, softer this time, pleading. "You left me. You promised you'd always love me." I stared at Adam, confusion and fear clawing at my throat. What is she doing here? But the knock came again, this time more forceful. The doorknob rattled. I backed away. "Adam, what the hell is going on?" Before he could answer, the door burst open. A gust of freezing air swept inside, and standing in the doorway was a woman, pale, drenched from the rain, her dark hair clinging to her face. Her lips curled into a smile, but her eyes gleamed with an unsettling obsession. "Emily." But not Emily. "You forgot about me," she whispered, stepping forward. Adam's breath came in ragged gasps. "Emily, you need to leave." Before I could react, she moved. Faster than any normal person should. Her cold, strong hands grabbed me, fingers curling around my throat as she forced me to the ground. I choked, struggling, her grip like iron. Her lips parted, revealing a twisted grin. "If I can't have him," she hissed, "neither can you." Adam lunged at her, trying to pull her off me. "Emily, stop." She turned to him, and for the briefest moment, I saw sadness in her wild eyes, before rage overtook her. She shoved him back with surprising strength, sending him crashing into the fireplace. The sound of his skull hitting the stone was sickening. I screamed, thrashing, my vision dimming as her grip tightened. Black spots danced before my eyes. Was this it? Was I going to die here? Then, suddenly, Emily's grip loosened. Adam had managed to get up, a fire poker clutched in his hand. He swung it with all his strength, striking her across the face. A horrifying shriek filled the cabin as she staggered backward, clutching her head. "You're sick, Emily." Adam shouted, breathing heavily. "You need help." Emily stood there, panting, her wide, unblinking eyes locked onto him. And then, without another word, she turned and fled into the woods, disappearing into the darkness. Silence fell. I gasped for air, crawling to Adam as he collapsed beside me. Blood dripped down his forehead, but he was alive. Shaking, I grabbed his face, tears streaming down my cheeks. "Is she gone?" I whispered. He nodded weakly. "For now." The fire crackled. Outside, the wind howled through the trees. And somewhere in the distance, a soft, eerie whisper carried through the night. Valentine's Day would never be the same again. Days passed, but the unease never left us. We returned to the city, trying to move on, but the paranoia crept in. I started noticing shadows where there were none, hearing faint footsteps when I was alone. Adam became distant, withdrawn. Then, one night, we found a note pinned to our apartment door. "You can't run from love, Adam. See you soon." Taped below it was a single photograph, Emily, standing in the background of a picture we had taken at the cabin. Smiling. That was it. We couldn't live like this anymore. Adam called the police, and after a tense few days of investigation, they finally caught her. She had been stalking us relentlessly, lurking outside our building, following us in the shadows. When they arrested her, she had a notebook filled with pages of Adam's name, our address scrawled over and over again, and dozens of photos of us taken without our knowledge. The authorities assured us that she wouldn't be able to harm us anymore, but we knew better. She was obsessed. The thought of her sitting in a cell, plotting, waiting, it was too much. We had to leave. So we packed our bags, sold everything, and moved across the country, to a place where she could never find us. A fresh start. A new beginning. But sometimes, late at night, I still wake up gasping for air, feeling phantom fingers tightening around my throat. And on those nights, when the wind howls just right, I swear I hear her whispering. "You can't run from love."
Like, subscribe and don't forget to hit the bell icon to never miss a scare.